Boxing Source here with a quick analysis of what happened over at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. I mean, real quick, you got Gary Antoine Russell with the stoppage victory over Giovanni Santiago. He was very sharp, very quick, and Giovanni Santiago didn't really have an answer for, anything that Gary was doing. I mean, you had, the knockdown that happened in round 3, and he kind of like just continued the onslaught there, after that particular knockdown, and he got the, stoppage victory after 6 rounds. Giovanni Santiago's corner did not want Santiago to have any more punishment, as, Gary Antoine Russell took it to him, was able to hit him with multiple left hands, was very sharp with the left hand, whether it was lead left hand or just setting him up with the right jab and then the left hand. And now he's like 14-0. Yes, he did say that he is, ready to go after Adrian Broner. Of course, Giovanni Santiago did have that loss to, Adrian Broner in his previous fight earlier this year, where he did have a good effort against Adrian Broner. Some people felt like he should have got the upper hand on that particular bout, but here in this fight, you just seen Gary Antoine Russell be the much quicker guy, much more aggressive, something that Santiago just could not deal with. And, it was just a beating, so to speak, there over those 6 rounds. So Gary Antoine Russell now 14-0, 14 stoppage victories, and we're going to see what's next for him in the super lightweight division. Now, in the co-featured bout that they had, Subaru Matthias against Badajan Jukumbayev. You had Jukumbayev coming in there undefeated. Subaru Matias there, 16-1. He had, one loss, but then turned around and got a victory over Malik Hawkins in the tail end of 2020. So he was coming in here with a bout that was an IBF eliminated bout. And it was a good little bout for, 3 rounds. But the difference was in round 4 where Subaru Matias was able to hurt Jukumbayev and then get him knocked down, scored that knockdown in the 4th round. And that kind of like just told the story of the bout. While Jukumbayev was a little bit game over the course of this bout, it was just Subaru Matias just did not really get hurt by Jukumbayev's punches. There was like a good left hook that was scored by Jukumbayev around like round 6 or so, and Subaru Matias just walked right through that, just kept coming, whether it was, in close or at range. Matias just kept throwing punches. It was pretty much like his last fight against Malik Hawkins. He just kept coming forward, throwing punches, whether it was jabs or power shots, and he just ended up breaking down Jukumbayev, and Jukumbayev just could not get himself to get up for the 9th round. So it was 8 rounds that were completed, and Jukumbayev retired on his stool to suffer the first loss of his professional career. Now Subaru Matias moves forward. He may contend for the IBF title, maybe there at 140 pounds, or have another IBF eliminator bout that could make him the mandatory contender for the IBF super lightweight title. And in the main event, Nordine Oubaali versus Nonito Donaire for the WBC Bantamweight Championship. Oubaali was coming in there undefeated. We were supposed to have this bout in December, but both of these guys had tested positive for COVID, which delayed this bout. So we ended up being there at the Dignity Health Sports Park, and Nonito Donaire was coming off that loss to Naoya Inoue in a fight of the year, pretty much in November 2019. That was just a great bout that he had against Naoya Inoue. But now he had come back against Nordine Oubaali, who was undefeated. It was somebody that was a world champion. Very awkward there, 17-0. But he just didn't really have much to get Donaire really off his game. Donaire was able to, walk him down, be patient, and then once he got him, to the ropes and was able to land a good power shot upstairs and, knock down Nordine Oubaali in the third round. And then in the fourth round, that's when he ended up finishing off, Nordine Oubaali and getting the stoppage victory in 4 rounds. So it's a fourth round knockout victory for Nonito Donaire. He is once again a world champion there in the bantamweight division. And, it just shows, man. I mean, here he is like all these years, once again a world champion. I mean, we know about his fight against Guillermo Rigondeaux, Nicholas Walters, Carl Frampton, where he gave a great effort there against Carl Frampton too. But that Naoya Inoue fight just showed that he, kind of like had a good little bit left in him, and so now he is once again a world champion there in the bantamweight division, and we will see what's going to be next for him. I mean, after the fight, him and Richard Schaefer were trying to see if they could set up a rematch with Naoya Inoue, as that would be a unification fight. But you also have the WBO champion John Real Casimiro, who has an upcoming bout against Guillermo Rigondeaux for that WBO version of the bantamweight title. So you can also have the winner of that fight facing Nonito Donaire, and that could either be, two guys there from the Philippines, Donaire and Casimiro, or you could have a rematch of Nonito Donaire and Guillermo Rigondeaux. That first fight was back in 2013. So here we are, about 8 years after that fight took place, and both of these guys are still, here around, and both, could be world champions. Now you have Donaire as a world champion, and you could have Guillermo Rigondeaux as the WBO world champion if he beats Jean Real Casimiro. But for now, you have Nonito Donaire with his impressive performance, 4th round KO victory over Nordine Oubaali to become the WBC bantamweight champion. And it looks like he is cemented as a Hall of Famer, but there is still more left for Nonito Donaire. With that being said, that's the summary of what happened at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Garza, California tonight. We got more coming up on the podcast. Be sure to tune into that or subscribe and listen to it on iTunes. On that note, folks, I'm out. Peace.